Okay, we are recording. Calling the Selectmen's Meeting for Tuesday, April 7th at 5:04. Calling the meeting to order. I will do a roll call. Kim Anderson,
Here.
Ben Rhines,
Here.
Jeff Slack,
Here.
Catherine Martin Savage,
Here.
and of course I'm here, Judith Colby. With us, we also have Town Manager John O'Connell and Admin Kathy Orinato and members of the press, Phil DeVise representing the Wiscasset newspaper and Charlotte Boyington, the Lincoln County News. We can't do pledge allegiance to the flag, but we can go on. The first thing is the approval of the treasurer's warrants. We have payroll warrants for March 20th and March 28th.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? I gotta have a
Aye.
roll call. I'm sorry. Ben,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Catherine,
Yes.
and myself. That's 5-0. Thank you. Okay. Accounts payable, March 24th and April 7th.
So moved. Second.
Second.
Okay. Roll call. Ben,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Kim Anderson,
Yes.
Catherine,
Yes.
and myself, Judy. Yes, 5-0. Okay, the next item is the approval of the minutes for March 17th, March 26th, and March 31st. Do we have any corrections or issues with any of those?
I move the minutes as presented.
Second.
Oh, okay. Ben,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Catherine,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
and myself, yes. So it's 5-0.
Point of order.
Yes, Ben.
You weren't there, so you should abstain on those
Oh.
minutes.
Oh, I wasn't there for the 17th.
Right.
Okay, are you putting them all together?
Yes, I did.
Okay, well, I can abstain for all 3 meetings if you want.
Perfect.
Well, I thought we were doing them separately.
Jeff did the motion for all 3 at the same time.
Well, all right. I'll let it go.
No, I'll abstain. I'll abstain from it. That's fine.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. 4-0-1.
You don't have to abstain from the other two.
That's okay. I'm being generous tonight. Let's go.
All right. I guess I'll buy
Okay.
that.
We have no special presentations. We have one committee appointment, Katie Bryant for the Comprehensive Plan Committee.
I make a motion that we appoint Katie Bryant to the Comprehensive Plan Committee.
Second.
Okay. Ben,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Catherine,
Yes.
Kim.
Yes.
My vote is yes also. That's 5-0. Okay, we have no public hearings. We have no public comment because we have no public. Department head or committee chair, we have nothing. Unfinished business, we have nothing. We go on to new business. EMS for CPR device.
I was gonna make a motion. I believe, Judy, that there's some money has been raised and whatever hasn't been raised, I was gonna make a motion to take it out of contingency just until we can get reimbursed from that disaster grant.
Okay, I believe, John, how much did you say they had raised?
Approximately, last time I spoke to Dennis, it was approximately $3,000.
Okay, and
That
he's
raised.
saying it's in about the $10,000 range?
No, I heard 8,000 when I last spoke to him.
8,000. Okay.
Do you want an exact dollar amount, John, in the motion, or just,
No.
I don't have the exact dollar
that's
amount.
what that's why I was gonna, yep, that's why I was just gonna say, take what's need, I was gonna make a motion to take what's needed out of there.
Out of contingency.
Yes, please.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion from the board?
I'd like to just thank the Dennis and his crew for having the putting forth the effort to raise $3,000 to put towards this. I think that speaks very highly of them.
It
Yes,
most
it
certainly
does.
does. Yep.
Okay, we will vote now. Ben,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Catherine,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
and myself, Judith Colby, yes. So it's 5-0. Okay, we have a request from the Friends of Wisconsin to donate funds to the General Assistance Program. I don't see how much they have.
The last I heard, Judy, I spoke with Judy, and she said it was around $2,000. Kathy, is it more than that, or is that
My understanding, it was around $2,000, but they were obviously hoping to raise a little bit more.
collecting more?
Okay.
Mhm.
So do we want to leave the motion at open-ended, not an amount? Just whatever they would like to donate?
That's how I was going to make the motion.
I think it'd be just thanks to them for the initiative and the people who are generously giving money towards it, because I know we'll need it.
Okay, can I have a motion from somebody?
I move that we greatly accept any donations from the Friends of Wiscasset.
Second.
Okay, Ben,
Yes.
Catherine,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
and myself, Judith Colby, yes, 5-0. Okay, we have a new business license also. Mark Pearson doing business as Southern States Classic, 263 Bath Road. I looked everything over. It didn't seem like they had any problems. There was no concerns from code enforcement, Wisconsin Police, Planning Board, Fire Department. What's the
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Yes.
Where is 263 Bath Road? I just,
Uh,
Maybe the old Pro Body Works building?
Mm,
I'm guessing.
is that where they used to have the classic cars and
I think you're
Right
right.
before
I think
Uber's?
that is just
Oh.
before Danny Grover's.
Yeah,
Yes.
Shorey's, maybe. Maybe that
Yeah.
Shorey's where he refinished and refurbished cars.
Yes, I think that's where it is.
Been for sale for a long time.
Yes, I think that's where it is.
okay.
Okay,
Curious.
all
Yeah.
right, let's vote on it. Ben,
Yes.
Catherine,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
myself, Judith Colby, yes. So it passes 5-0. Right now, we have the town manager's report. John?
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. And as you know, most of our news and reports and updates are all related to the implication of the coronavirus. We've been very conscious of the need, the public health and the public safety for both our citizens and our employees, and we've taken appropriate and recommended actions right across the board. For example, in the town office, we're all masked up. We're doing the social distancing, and either gloves or hand washing or so on all the time. We've shifted where our department heads get the mail into the to the hearing room, and so people will come in through the side door there, and if all they have to do is pick up mail, they pick it up there, and they don't have to walk through the building, because every time someone walks through the building from the outside, we have to follow with, disinfecting, sanitation, anything related to anything they've touched, and so on and so forth. And then they deliver if they do have to come in, they deliver the paperwork to the front counter through the plexiglass, which protects the women in the office there. And regrettably, because of the difficulty in keeping our building safe and disinfected, we've had to limit access or prohibit access from the public, which is an irritation. I know that, especially when they're making tax payments, which of course they can do by mail, or they can use the drop box by the door again, inside the parking lot. I know there are some people that, registering vehicles and so on, most of which can be done online, and we're happy to help them with that. We Almost all of our employees count as essential employees because the town still has to operate the public safe, all the public safety, whether it be, fire, police, EMS, and then of course the road crew. It's important. They had a plowing event just last week. They got to keep the road safe. They've got some significant repairs to do, including a very large culvert repair on Old Ferry Road, and they've got some bridge maintenance to do apart from fixing potholes and making sure all the roads are passable, whether it be trees, culverts, you name it. So, and then of course we have wastewater, and that's another very important aspect, because obviously without our wastewater facility operating efficiently, we'd be very, very limited, extremely limited. In fact, we'd be shut down as a town if that weren't maintained. So again, they're doing a good job. They've had a few incidents, including some power outages, and they were rushing around with portable generators in the middle of the night. I think it was last week. And then we've also we got the transfer station. That's been a bit awkward, because with the transfer station we were also picking up recyclables and so on and so forth. And because of staffing and the need to reduce the interaction between the public to public interaction, which of course, as you know, transfer station was a great place to meet up with neighbors and so on and so forth as you're sorting recyclables. So what we did early on was just make sure the garbage gets collected, and so basically what we've done, we've made two lines, one on each side of the hopper, and people drive up, stay in line, throw the material into the hopper, and move out promptly. And again, it's the person-to-person contact. It's the keeping the public safe, keeping our own employees safe, and keeping the whole social distance thing. It's definitely an irritation. Heard quite a few comments or complaints, whatever you want to call it. And Ed Snowden and I went back and forth on hours and such like, and figured we could get the job done in the opening hours that I ran through with Phil. Love to get past that, but again, while we're in the social distancing era and very concerned about infection rates and such like, I can't see it happening for quite a while. But the key thing is, it's moving the garbage out is of huge importance to the health of the town. So that's what we have to focus on. So those are kind of the key aspect of what we're dealing with. we've huge unknowns. I mean, Lincoln County hasn't been well, I shouldn't say. We've been fortunate not to have a positive test within the town of Wisconsin. We're very proud of that. We want to maintain that. The last thing in the world we want is anyone to get infected. And so that's our first priority. And as I said, the second priority is public safety. I will say that the lack of traffic on the roads means a lot less car accidents, which means the ambulance people haven't been as active as usual, which in one way is good. I'll just soon not have people crash their cars. On the other hand, we have to conserve our people for the event that is likely to happen in one form or the other. So that's my coronavirus.
John, can I interrupt you just for a second? Judy, this is just kind of a point of order. It's been brought to my attention that one of the members from the budget committee has said some pretty scathing things about the town manager up at the transfer station, and I didn't know what the policy is as far as removing a committee member.
I don't know what the policy is. We'd have to check on that, but John mentioned it to me, and I basically told him to do whatever he has to do. I feel that I don't want to go pressing charges against the gentleman.
No, me
But
neither. But
I think that maybe he should not be banned from the transfer station, and maybe we should check the policy to find out exactly if we can remove him.
he has come up to me at the end of the joint meetings, and I've always just taken it with a grain of salt. I think Jody and the rest of the board members know that I'm not. I'll take any criticism, and that's fine. But to me, this is just going way too far, and I just don't want him to be part of the budget process once we get it going.
Okay, John, if Jeff, if you want, I will look at the ordinance as far as the budget committee and see if there is something that, can be done. I think it would have to be something that the Board of Selectmen would probably have to initiate.
Yep,
He
and I
is
don't
an
mind being the
elected
point
official.
on that. Yep, I don't mind being the point on that at all. If to start the ball rolling.
Okay, let me look into it. So I have the ordinance and everything here. Let me look into it and see what I come up with. But it would have to be a board decision to ask him
Oh,
to be
absolutely.
removed.
Yep.
Okay. But I agree with you, because I feel sometimes even during the budget conversations we had, he would get a little bit rowdy.
Yep.
And it's something we don't need. We need to work together.
And I do know that in the past, before we removed Brian Buck from the airport committee years ago, we kind of met with him in executive session.
Right.
And I don't and I don't mind doing that either. You know what
I think under the circumstances, the way we're doing this, it would be awfully hard to meet.
Oh, no. I meant when we get back up and running again. Whatever. Like I said, I don't want to just throw him to the curb per se, but it was just way out of line. Just way out of line.
Well, I'm just thinking, Jeff, that if you're going to do something, now's the time to do it, not to wait.
Okay. No. I just was going to give the man his due, but no. Yeah. No.
Let me check what the responsibilities are of the board member, and then we can discuss it at our next meeting. Okay?
You got it.
That sounds good.
Okay. We have something from the Sheriff's Department regarding the COVID-19 response update.
Yeah, you've all got a letter in front of you dated March 25th, and as the sheriff says, this is the first time he's had to do this. It's an effort to coordinate with all the departments, and as you know, when federal money flows, usually flows to the county first for the county to distribute to the towns. And by us participating along with the town of Booth Bay Harbor, I think that would show our good faith, and we could expect get reasonable reimbursement and support when the money does come. It is an emergency, and it's talking public safety, coordinating our scarce resources, because if this stuff hits, we would be very short on resources, and the coordination and cooperation is essential. So that's basically that's the content of the letter.
Do you need anything from us as a board, John?
I would. It would be better if you would agree that you would allow our Wiscasset Police Department personnel to be deputized as Lincoln County deputies. It's not unusual, as you see here. He's deputized people from Knox and Saginaw counties also.
Okay.
Because
Okay, I'll make a motion to authorize the Lincoln County Sheriff to deputize the Wiscasset police officers. Is that all you need?
yeah,
I'll second that.
Okay. All right, roll call again. Ben,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Catherine,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes,
and myself, Judith Colby, yes, 5-0. Okay. Next item. John?
yeah. Next item is the flooring on the ground floor of the municipal building. As you know, we had two flooding events on the ground floor. One in the bathrooms in the town office itself, beside my office. It got the walls wet. It got some carpets wet, and so on and so forth. And many months later, a similar event happened in the police department, and Maine Municipal has offered to pay for a portion of the damages. So we finally got going on this when we had basically the police department and some EMS floors were done first. So all the furniture had to be moved, carpeting torn up, flooring torn up, pulled up, and you probably recollect from almost a year and a half ago, there was some asbestos underneath these floors, and a lot of the asbestos was just the glue that held the tiles down. Nonetheless, it was asbestos, so we had to do the abatement first, and then the flooring. And I showed Judy the flooring, which I think is very nice. Anyway, they did a nice job in the sheriff's department and the hallway down towards EMS. And when they were finished that, the asbestos people came down to the town office itself and did the same thing. That was all of last week, so we had to move all the equipment from the four little offices where the computer is, where I am, where Kathy is, and the selectmen's meeting room. So all that nasty carpet was pulled up and all remediated. They did everything the way they should on the abatement side. And then last week, the tile people came right in and they put everything down. They finished about noon on Friday. And yesterday morning, we moved large amounts of large furniture back into the building. And I forgot to take a photograph, but it does look very, very nice. And in fact, I rather like the offices without the furniture. It looked significantly better than loaded up with furniture and files. Anyway, it's all completed very satisfactorily, and we'll be arranging our whatever reimbursement we get from Maine Municipal for the work that was done that was the damaged portion. So anyway, that now is done. We're back in the office, and it's much more workable. I was working off my cell phone and a laptop, along with Kathy at the other end of the other end of the table in the hearing room. Anyway, so now we're back, and I know it was inconvenient for all sorts of reasons because we let the staff from the main office. Had to keep them home all week because of too much noise, too many fumes, and of course the potential that some asbestos might have, escaped or been perceived to be a problem. So yeah, we've got them all back today as well. So now we're on top of the mail, tax receipts, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, that's my report on the flooring. It does look very nice, and I'll get some pictures to you all shortly. That's the end of that. That's the end of that report.
You have nothing more, John?
Oh, well, how to summarize the last few weeks? I mean, it's only been 3 weeks. Times it seems like more like 3 months.
It does. It does.
And a lot of these things that are coming at us, and not just us, I mean, the state, the country, municipalities, it's been challenging. It's been very hard. It's been very hard to figure out what's the correct solution. As I said at the last board meeting, there are so many uncertainties that it's important that we get the best information we can without dragging our heels too much. But on the other hand, there's more information coming in every day. Some of the state programs, some of the federal programs. When is the money going to flow? Who does it come to? And some of these things are still up in the air. In fact, I'm just guessing. I would think that probably Governor Mills will try and come up with solutions for some of the problems that they haven't addressed yet. One of which is, how much support will come to the municipalities. Small Business Administration, through that payroll protection plan, has made a pretty good effort to help small businesses. And the one thing that's lacking at this point is something similar for the municipalities. So I'm hoping that that gap would be plugged. Very hard to find out. Actually, I think we're doing okay with the facts at our disposal and the challenges we face. And I've talked to some towns, and there's no universal solution. Some towns just merrily go along, and then nothing had happened, made no real adjustments to their budgets. Others they're encouraging employees to file for unemployment. They're putting some on furlough, and it's all over the place. And what I get is from people I know who used to be in the business. Well, I'm glad you're doing it and not me, because I'd love it to be somebody else too. But it's what we have, and overall we're doing pretty well. One of the things that I'm noticing the lack of as we get deeply into the financials, which I'm just starting on, we have been without a treasurer for a few months, and some of these questions require a lot of accounting work and analysis. And while Kathy has been doing payroll, general assistance, and all sorts of stuff, and I'm technically treasurer, even though I rely on Ellen and Kathy for the technical support. It's it's a gap that makes it more challenging for us. We're getting through it, but it's not pretty. And if we hadn't been if we hadn't been blindsided by this virus, we'd have gone farther down the road towards getting a replacement for me as town manager. And once that had been in place, we'd have been looking at putting together somebody on the financial side. But as they say, the best laid plans are often go agley, as Robert Burns would say. So, yes.
Well, if I could say, John, what if we were to possibly maybe contract for a treasurer? That way it would leave, we have the money in the budget because of Vernice. And
Mhm.
that would free you up to be able not to be so, and Kathy, not to be so bombarded with a lot of the treasury work. I noticed when we did the papers, the resumes that came in for the town manager, there was a
Mhm.
couple people in there that would make darn good treasurers and locally. And maybe we should think about reaching out and see if we can contract them to come in and help us at this point in time. I don't know what the other board members think, but I mean, we can't keep relying on John and Kathy to keep doing all this work. They're going to get burnt out here pretty soon. And, we are going to have to redo the budget again. We're going to have tax commitment, the whole 9 yards all over again. And I think we really need to maybe consider bringing someone in temporarily.
Judy.
Agree.
Yes,
Fine
Kim.
with me.
Kim?
Yeah, so I have two comment. One is a question and then one is a comment on the treasurer and the town manager process. When Vernice left us, was she not, did she not say, and I might be remembering this wrong, but didn't she say that she was available to do contract work and that she would come back to do reconciliations once a month? So I guess my first thing that I would ask the board to consider is maybe just having Vernice put in more hours. I think she does do 1099 work. My second comment on, and this is a comment on the town manager search. I understand that, like our warrant and like our elections, the search is on hold right now. But I wonder if that's necessary or wise, because of John's desire to leave and potentially getting burned out by everything that's happening. Could we not continue on with the process? I would just like to let you know that I interviewed for a job today, and it was over Zoom, and I was interviewed by a panel of 5 people, and they're continuing because they need to find a person to fill a position. So just something for us to think about.
Well, I know that I'm going to interrupt and other members can speak. I've thought very seriously about this, and when John was putting in his resignation, I asked him to stay as long as I did, and I guess I'm going to be here for a while. And John's worked very hard, him and Kathy, on the budget. And once this thing is all done and over with and we have to start a new budget, I personally don't feel comfortable having somebody new in here doing it. I would rather see if we can keep John. It's his budget. When it comes to interviewing, I kind of have a problem. I'd rather have somebody sitting across the table for me. I like to see the body language. And they're not going to go anywhere. I mean, I think we can make a statement that we are everything is on hold. We don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. Um,
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I hope we do make that statement. I think it would be appropriate for the office to reach out to the candidates and formally let them know that the process is on hold.
yes, and that's what I think. This is something the board needs to decide where we want to go. And if that's our plan, to wait until we have a few months down the road to be able to decide exactly what we're going to be doing. I mean, come June, July, August, we might be sitting pretty. We don't know. And we can start the process, as far as town manager go, and have that manager, we pick one and have him work with John to get us into the get through the budget process, go to town meeting, have an election, the whole 9 yards. That's just my opinion, but I don't know what other board members feel. Anybody else?
Well, I agree with you, but I think um, right now, I think we ought to try to get a treasurer of some sort,
Agreed.
whether it's a direct hire from, there were at least 2 people who had submitted resumes for the town manager's job. And in reading them, my opinion, which is just me, I read every single one of those resumes, and there were at least one, if not two people that I made a note on that sheet that said good treasurer prospect or something to that extent. So I don't know whether we ought to, I think the treasurer's position we have to do something just to help alleviate the pressure on Kathy and John.
I agree, and there was,
And the town manager thing, we can work on that later, but right now, I mean, the whole country is in the same boat we're in, so
right.
that's the way I feel that we ought to try to do something with the treasurer, whether John wants to call these people or send them an email or however, and have them come in and chat on the phone or whatever, and maybe, like you say, contract with one of them.
Right.
I guess kind of backing up what Kim said and then what Judy just said, I think that Bernice would be the first place to go because she knows the budget. She knows Wisconsin and she knows the budget. So as far as a contractor goes, that's where I would go first.
That's true. We could check with Bernice to see what she has for availability, because she does other towns also. I don't know how much time she would be able to give to Wiscasset, but it's a question to ask.
Well, if we need to pay her a little extra, we could do that too.
Okay.
Well,
We
we
do.
need somebody.
So shall we ask John to reach out to Vernice first and see what we can come up with her? And if not, then look
Find
through
somebody else.
the applications and see if there's someone in there that we can
Sounds
use
like a
for a
plan.
contract. Yes, John?
Yeah, Kathy worked very, very closely with Vernice. Now, as you well know, Vernice has another job, and I haven't spoken to her in a while because Kathy always speaks to her, but she's facing the same kind of problems, or I should say challenges, the uncertainty in her other job. And Kathy does call on her, and so would have a better understanding. But she's there when we need her, but redoing, if you want to call it that, redoing a budget rather than just coming in a partial day once a month is a whole different beast. And we have other challenges that pop up, accounting type things, and it's hard to interrupt her when she's at her other job. But if you'd like more detail, Kathy could certainly enlighten you if you'd like to ask her.
Kathy?
We can ask her.
Bernice and I have worked together we worked together because of her schedule on a Saturday in February and a Saturday in March. And we reconciled all the town accounts. So they're up to date. March is just completed, and that's the only month that isn't reconciled. But I continue to do the bank statement, and she has showed me how to do the other accounts. I think that challenges for me are the technical stuff, like we had to file 941s, quarterly 941s today or before April 30th. And fortunately, I had taken some notes a long time ago and was able to get through that process, but she's very receptive. I have a question for her. She responds. We do pay her more money per hour than when she was working for the town, and she's very receptive to coming in. I just don't know how. It usually has to be a Saturday, which means at least I probably would come in with her, because I'd like to not be able to depend, where she has left. It would be nice to learn how to do it, or like you said, hire somebody that could be there on a regular basis.
So Kathy, do you feel that she has any more time to be able to give to Wiscasset, or is it only Saturdays?
I don't believe right now she has time because she's trying to fix the problems in the town that she's in. And so that's why we've been doing Saturdays, because she's filled up Monday through Friday pretty good. And she's also a treasurer of another town. So she has several irons in the fire.
Okay. Well, in all fairness to Jeff and Kim, I think it would be worth a phone conversation. At least ask. And if she does not, I I think we need more than one Saturday a month. I really, I think we need somebody in there, you know, during the week and being able to get up to snuff on everything. Go ahead and talk to Bernice and see what we can come up with. If not, then we will have to go another route. How does that sound,
Fine?
Jeff?
Yep. Yeah, that's fine. Yep.
Yeah, well, man, that's fine. I mean, it's the manager's job to come up with with the treasurer. So
Okay. What is
if from
your
needs can
feeling?
work, go another direction.
What is your feeling of sending a letter out to those that have applied for the town manager position and just stating that due to the virus and the situation that the state, country, and the town is in, that it's going to be put on hold at this point? But we will get back to them when we are ready to continue our process. John?
Yeah. I've listened to what everybody has said, and I was wondering whether, since the board and our advisory panel has gone through all the resumes, whether it would be appropriate to have an executive session and review who had been selected for interview, and maybe send them a different message, find out if they're still interested, because in a month or 2 or 3, we might want to pursue those people. And then the other would be
Rejection.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I was thinking out loud, just rejection for the others, right?
I'm sorry.
Nothing, sorry.
Well, Kim was saying that we'd have one letter to go out to those that we want to interview and a different type of letter going out for those that we don't want to interview.
Yeah, a
because-
rejection letter.
yeah, there's no point in having all of them hanging on. That'd be
True.
item one. And the other would be for the board to look at potential people that might be considered as treasurer, finance director, whatever we call it. And then get a consensus there too. And at least we'd have advanced it a little bit. That'd be my suggestion.
Okay. I know, John, you had requested an executive session one night this week, either Wednesday or Thursday, regarding personnel. Is that something we could also put into that executive session? Because it is
Oh.
personnel.
Oh, it is personnel. I mean, yeah, I would. Obviously, there are a number of serious questions relating to personnel going forward. Of course, we don't know whether we're planning 1 month, 2 months, 4 months, and I'd like to go through the options with the board, and so that's why personnel matters, including looking at the candidates. I think that'd be useful. It doesn't have to take very long, but I think it'd be a good thing to do.
I think that's a very good suggestion. Weeding out those that we want. You have the reports from the panel that was going to interview, and you have it from us, to be able to say, okay, these are the ones that we picked, I guess, that we would interview, and these we kind of like said, no, we're not that interested. And maybe that's the time to do this. What does the other board members think about meeting in executive session either Wednesday or Thursday night?
Good for me.
Yeah, I've got nothing going on.
What about Jeff?
It's fine with me. Yep.
Do you have a preference?
If we could do 4:30 and after, that would be best for me, but if it's not like longer than an hour, I can do it during the day as well.
Well, I can do 5 o'clock. I mean, that seems a good time for everybody. Is that okay?
Yeah.
5 is fine.
Yep.
Do you want to do Wednesday or Thursday?
You mean tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh,
Or do you want-
Wednesday.
Yeah, that's
Thursday.
fine.
Tomorrow.
Is Thursday better, John?
Yes, please, because
You've got to get
I've
things
got to-
together.
well, there's that, but before that, I've got to do there's a thing called ASK. I forget what it stands for, but Mary Ellen is gathering data to submit to the feds about possible support we might get because of this whole virus thing. So Thursday would suit me better. Give me a chance to view those resumes and also to fill out that information that Mary Ellen needs. if that's
Okay.
okay with the board.
All right, so we can have an executive session Thursday, April 9th at 5 o'clock. Does that sound good? Everybody put it on the calendar
So
regarding personnel.
got it.
I don't think there was anything else that I had. Is there anything else from the other board members?
No,
No?
Just thank you to John and Kathy for all their hard work.
Yes.
I know
Oh,
it's hard.
before we do adjourn, John, and because the press is here,
Yes.
you and I had talked earlier about the town's hours for the girls that be able to pay taxes. And we had also discussed possibly, I think we need to put that out in the press as to what you're planning, like if there's only going to be one girl available, it's something like that. I don't know if that's something you want to do now or not.
Um, since the town office was closed for a full week, I think we have to take the extra step to accommodate people. And on the, tax collection, I mean, they can always mail it in. They can use the drop box. Some people don't like to use the drop box. And if we're here, we would, we would certainly accept tax payments. The only problem is our building is not designed, there's no way of flowing people through. And worst thing in the world is to have people in too close proximity for periods of time. And I certainly don't want to end up with, like outside a supermarket, people separated by 6 feet and there's 25 of them. And, that is kind of ridiculous. But one thing that did come up in discussions with people was that in view of everything that's going on and the uncertainty and the slowness in getting financial transactions done, some people might appreciate a delay in the town assessing interest due past the tax due date. And that'd be,
That makes sense.
Kim, did you say something?
No, I keep thinking I'm muted. I'm just talking to myself. Sorry.
Okay.
you've forgotten, Kim, you've forgotten that you told me you like Zoom meetings because you can mute certain speakers. So, sorry, have to push that back at you.
I know. Well, this is WebEx, and I don't have that power here.
Oh,
I've got the power. No, John and I had talked about it earlier, and I usually go down and pay my taxes, but I've been making payments through my bank, and sometimes it takes a week to get there. So not necessarily will they all be there by the 24th. So I mentioned to John maybe of a week, even 2 weeks, to give the mail an opportunity to get to the town hall. I don't know if that's something the board would be interested in doing. I think it would be nice for the public to show that we are concerned and we care and we want to work with them to be able to pay their taxes.
do we have the authority to waive that? Well, that's passed by the townspeople by article.
I don't know.
Yeah, Ben's right.
That's a good question. That is a good question.
I'll check on that, but I mean, the board has pretty broad authority, as you know, when it comes to people with overdue taxes and settlements and such like. But I would check that. I, I don't think that, considering the circumstances, that it would be a major problem. But yeah, as Ben says, it's certainly worth checking.
Yeah, I would. I would check into it, but I wouldn't want to extend it any longer than 2 weeks myself, even a week or 2 weeks. Other than that, I know in the past we've never forgiven interest, but this is a different time, and some people are going to have a hard time. They're waiting for that stimulus check to come in, and hopefully we'll get some of it, but I don't know. But if John could check on that and be able to get back to us and tell us what we can do before the 24th
Mhm.
to help people.
John, Judy, can I ask a question?
Certainly, go ahead.
John, I've gotten a bunch of phone calls at the house as far as people registering their cars online, and I didn't know quite how to answer them. Do we keep the excise tax from our vehicles in Wisconsin, or does all that go to the state? How does that? What their question was was really, some of them was really cute. Will Wisconsin get their money if they register online?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes.
Thank you. I just didn't know. It was a question that I was above my pay grade, so I just.
Those people that pay online, it automatically gets deposited into our account, either
Thank you.
through Inform Me or directly to our bank.
I have a list on a scratched piece of paper to call people back after our meeting today. So it was really cute. I mean, because they were like, "I'll wait. it was really neat. They were good questions.
Well, maybe that's something Phil and Charlotte could put in the press for people who want to register online, that Wiscasset does get the excise tax money, even if they
Yeah.
register cars online.
Yeah, and I think I'd ask the press to also put in their article about the drop-off box on the side, on the back of the building, that people can put, their taxes in, or any correspondence that they want to get to the town hall. So that, I mean, we are trying to get as much out there as we can to help the people. Is there anybody else have anything to say? Any questions to ask? Yes, John.
Yeah, just to return to, the timing of my replacement. Obviously, it will be a while, and we do have to get through the town meeting and the budget process. And I did say, because you were twisting my arm some months ago, I want you to stay along through my term. So I think this falls under the category of for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, and health. So I will do my darndest to be able to keep things chugging along in tandem with you and the current board as much as I can, uh, well as I can. So
Well,
from that
we
point of view,
appreciate, we
John,
appreciate
thank you.
that, John. And we as a board appreciate everything that you do, you and Kathy, and whatever we can do to help alleviate some of the stress in your life, we would be more than glad to do, because I want you here until I leave.
I'll do my best, Judy. I will do my best.
Okay. Like you said, for better or worse. Anybody else? Okay, so if not, I'll have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay, we have to vote.
Yes.
This is
Roll
voting.
call.
Ben,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Catherine,
Yes.
Jeff. I'm Judith Colby, and I say yes, 5-0. We are adjourned.
See you guys
Everybody stay
Thursday.
safe.
Hi, guys. See you Thursday. Thanks, everyone.